with quick edification. We did for the others. So we want to create a relationship where a substantive minister going in by God's grace, and the deputy by principle is the principal assistant to the minister. If all of you approve, we want you to understand what is really happening. Some of you have little no knowledge about Parliament, or some of you have, but you don't have much to do with Parliament. Some of you have passed through this house once, and you see what Parliament can do in terms of governance issues. First, it's the responsibility of the minister to take total supervision of all the ministry, as stated in the Constitution. But for quick edification, we are continuing reading it so that you can understand. A very quick one. Mr. Clark, I hope you have your Constitution. So can you read 62 for us? Quick. Section 62. But before that, whilst you are waiting for him to get the section, some of you are asking, especially those who are the, like I see, former Deputy Minister of Labour, and the other one is going to Marine now. Some that are asking that why are they coming, especially those who are in the NDs. And we have one from Slurry. Those are asking, why are we coming back? If you have change, so if you have by constitutional mandate for ministers and deputies, by structure, the departments are under the ministries. So what we can do is to look at the Constitution. Why we are putting the Constitution? This Parliament is not a rubber stamp Parliament. This Parliament is serving the interest of Sierra Leone. So in section 58 of the Constitution, it's very clear. You can also read that one. The dissolution, when there is new mandate given to His Excellency the President, those offices by law is non-existent. So you also read that provision. So now start with 58 for me, just with 58.1 for time.
Section 58.1. The office of a minister or a deputy minister shall become vacant, A, on the expiration of the term of office of the president, or B.
Thank you. You have heard, not from me. This is from the 1991 Constitution, Act number 6. Everybody, including the president, is working under the Constitution, under the strong laws of this country. And the Constitution is the ground norm of this country. So that is one. So if you are satisfied with that one, we proceed to section 62 now.
Section 62. Where any minister has been changed with responsibility for any department of government, he shall exercise general direction and control over that department, and subject to such direction and control, the department shall under the supervision of a permanent secretary, whose office shall be a public office.
Thank you. So why we have also brought in this is because we have one responsibility called the oversight responsibility. Sometimes we have issues that my colleague Frank writes. We are deputy ministers, not even accorded the respect that we are looking for, even from the minister or the permanent secretary. Whether you like it or not, those who are in office they can tell you. Whether you like it or not, the minister is in charge. And even if you have some MDs, when they are appointed at the same time with the ministers, they will go about saying SO2, but all at the same time they appoint three. No. President has a responsibility by executive order to appoint all of you. Even if you are appointed before the minister, that doesn't mean you can overrule the Constitution. You can't. So what the Constitution is saying, that you are in charge as a principal supervisor, but you also have a permanent secretary which is under the ministers. and the ministers are the minister and the deputy minister. So sometimes because the vote controller is the permanent secretary, they are acting as a conduit either to bring the ministry together or to put the ministry apart. For sometimes their own selfish ends. So in fact, one, we are saying, because the deputy minister is the principal assistant to the minister, we should see where you are working. You don't need to be friends before you can work. You can work in the interest of the state. Honorable Bangura is APC. There is no way APC don't want to come to power. But we are working on because of the interest of the state. That's why we are working. So you all likewise, you go to your ministries, they are expecting that based on what you have, the permanent secretaries are under your directives. And departments are under your directives. So we don't want to have in the 6th Parliament where we have ministers and deputies going in different directions. We know the president has the sole executive power to take care of that one. But sometimes he's very busy, he cannot see it. So members, sometimes they come to us, the ministers or deputies, to tell us that this is what is happening. When they have issues around the ministry, they will come to us to explain. That is one. Finally, we as members of parliament, we can profile and take our decisions and give it to the executive for appropriate actions during our investigations or our own oversight responsibilities as we are doing. So we have brought in these provisions for you to understand that when you go to your office, by God's grace, if you have approved, that you need to take these things very serious. And there is no need for fighting. We have seen in some certain administrations where the minister and the deputy go on the social media or even using the radio stations talking about issues that has to do with maladministration. We don't want to see that one. Nobody wants to see it. So we are encouraging you, when you assume office, you make sure you live up to expectations. So this interview, as I said, is just a part of what you are going to start to see. And secondly, we also want you to understand that we have not set this panel in any form to embarrass anybody. But just as when you are going to your ministry by grace, God's grace, you have approved, that you are going there to do the job. You cannot allow somebody to come and just ride on you, do things irresponsibly. If you are going as the Minister for Education, you want to see a higher education at a very good platform. So you start to put the record straight. It's the same thing we are doing here. If we don't put the record straight now, when you get to your office, you follow suit. So we are happy for you to come. So we still apologize if you have come, there's any inconvenience. This Parliament is a place for everybody. We are representing all of you, even you, the nominees. Thank you very much for coming. We hope to keep this interview short by the grace of God. And that we start with the Minister of Fire and Technical Education. Can you please take this? The others, we appreciate you for coming. Don't sit at this door here. Go right up at the members' lounge. So you can have a seat.
I, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before this committee shall be the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
How are you, madam?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Yeah. You, I hope you're okay. Feel free, be comfortable with us, right?
Thank you, sir.
What is your name?
My name is Hajara Matulai.
You have your form with you, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
Can you please take them out? Thank you for your other representation of the document. Thank you very much. Below your photo, there is a text. Have you seen it?
Yes, I have.
You don't mind reading that text for us?
Canvassing of members of the committee is strictly forbidden.
Did you canvass anybody in the committee?
No, sir.
Do you know anybody in this committee? Sure, you don't know nobody.
Absolutely sure.
You never met with anybody.
No, I haven't.
Where are you coming from?
Freetown.
Back from Freetown.
I currently reside in Juba.
So you don't know nobody on the panel?
Not on a personal level.
Not on
a personal level.
Not even official. Not even official.
Not even in an official level.
You haven't seen anybody before.
Well, apart from what has been streamed online and from other sittings that because these are public hearings, so I've not really had any one-to-one discussion with anyone.
It means if fighting about gender, you have not met the MPs who have been fighting for gender empowerment. You have not met them before.
There are different platforms that we fight for gender, not just one
She
platform.
was in the classroom.
You are fighting from what perspective?
From the classroom.
Well, from the research perspective,
The research perspective.
correct.
You know why we asked you to read the text?
Yes, sir.
Why?
It's to lay down the rules.
Do you know about corruption?
Yes.
Do you know about perception?
Yes.
So perception and corruption. Which one sets in first?
Say that again, sorry.
Perception is corruption. Which one sets in first?
Well, from where I'm sitting, maybe perception comes in first.
Yeah,
Yes.
good. So if you don't address perception, sometimes it can be the truth.
Okay.
It can just be. So what you have been really is to lay down the rules for fighting corruption, so that when you come to this committee, you have not talked to anybody in line with your nominations. Maybe you know people from different groups. Maybe you don't want to say it, but in the instance we are trying to establish first, if we have a direct relation with you, someone can recuse he or herself from the interview panel to give some integrity to our committee. The other point is that to help all of us to fight corruption, so which you have clearly stated. In fact, even us, they have accused us of corruption perceptions. So we try to make sure that we voice it out, so people know that we are not that type of parliament. So your form now, you fill out your form and you have bank statements, right?
Yes.
I've realized that your bank statement is not consistent with what you have as a balance. You don't need to read the balance to us, but it's not consistent.
Okay.
Let's start with the first one. You go through it quickly. The first one is Roque Commercial Bank, current account. Have you seen it?
Yes, I have it here.
Yeah. No. Have you seen the one with the Roque?
I have the current account here.
No, you just, we have ours, don't worry. I'm looking for the one specifically who can. The one you started with. You have so many of them. I just want to have you ever declared your asset for anti-corruption?
Yes, we do that as part of the university process.
Good. So you want your document to be consistent with that one you have at anti-corruption?
Okay. Yes.
And you know this one also is an asset declaration form that you fill.
I understand.
So if there's any variation, you know that there must be some issues. And you want to have a clean record. So
Absolutely.
and you must set the standard as a university lecturer.
Absolutely.
So I've not seen the hotel. Colleagues, have you seen hotel commercial bank? So you are giving us. You are giving.
Yes.
Okay, you have it.
I submitted for my 3 banks with Rokel. My 3 bank accounts, sorry.
No. You have okay.
Yes.
What I said earlier, presented a very decent document, orderly fashion. Now, we did not pack it for you. You did it yourself, right?
Yes.
So, if you go to the first one, let me down there. The first one is running commercial land. And the second one is standard chartered. The other one is standard chartered. Are you with me, ma'am?
Standard chartered should be 1.
No, SLCB should be 1.
SLCB is 1.
Standard chartered.
Where is that located? Charlotte Street?
Yes.
So I think it's the photocopy because there is no
Okay.
head in there.
Okay.
So it's Charlotte Street, right?
Yes.
Okay. But it's different what you have. You don't need to call it. No, the balance. You look up the 3rd of June 2022. The one that has to do with the Charlotte Street branch.
Is that the current account or the savings?
It's the current, the savings account.
Which one of the savings accounts?
The one that you have the B band 181382612711101. You see, I'm calling number as if I'm operating that. And that account I want to operate with. If you take your time.
Okay, 3rd of June, you said?
Yeah, period.
Okay.
To 17 July 2023.
Correct.
Yes. So if you look at the balance that you just typed and the form is not the same we have right up here. The one up there is more healthier than the one you have in the form.
I have the same figures.
You have the same figures.
Yes, sir.
Which one is the second one? Is the second one the third one you're talking about? Okay, let me start. It's about the 228.
So the B-band number ends with 4201.
So let's do for the 421. Okay, the next page. All right, that one is good. So the other one is 22. You have seen it's okay. What about the other? The other okay.
So this one ends with 7101.
Yes.
It's from Hotel Bank, another savings account. Yes.
So that is fine. It's the one at the top, the current account. The one that is fine.
Okay.
It's the current account. ends with 601. Yeah, that's 601.
Yeah. Okay, I see the issue. That must have been a typographical error.
Don't worry. Don't worry. Just want to maintain consistency.
Okay.
So you agree with me that it's not the same.
I agree with
Let
you.
me ask you one fundamental question. Are you ready to do some correction? Yeah. Before.
Yes.
You do.
If the procedure.
No, first I have to get this clear because
Yes.
in front of us and you're under oath. So I want to get it clear.
Yes, I want my documents to reflect the true picture.
Exactly. So before you can, after this session, whatever correction that you have to do, you do it and present it latest on Monday.
Okay.
If you can do it today, no problem, you can talk to you. Okay, that is good. So let us see those that with inconsistency, you just do the,
Okay.
because you already have the statement.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the bit type. That's why we ask you to write. That's when you come to the planning, you say, oh, it's good for you to write. So that you have a full view of what you are doing. Okay, we have looked at your CV. You have an interesting CV. You are, presently, you are an extraordinary lecturer. University of Victoria, Faculty of Health Sciences.
That's one of my positions, yes.
You are also senior lecturer from 2018 to present.
That's correct, sir.
And head of department, College of Medicine and Allied Health Sciences, University of Sierra Leone.
That is correct.
That is the few in South Hospital. You know I ask you that question. You know I have just read out those things.
No, sir.
It's deliberate. It's deliberate. Why is it deliberate? It's because you are going to the field of academy. You are an academician. And you are leading lots of people who are going to be. The institution that you are going to head is 100% literate. So, first, I want to say, yes, you are in tune from your CV what you have. For my own question, do you have anything you have to tell us about this ministry? If anything good, anything bad, in just 2 minutes.
Thank
Or
you.
anything you bring to the fore.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
So the Ministry of Technical and Higher Education, I believe, should play a very integral role in ensuring that it serves as a driving force for us to achieve national development, human capital development. So trying to ensure that it works with other ministries, other departments, other agencies that are relevant, so that we can work together towards a strategic goal. There are challenges within that sector, and that goes without saying. That obtains everywhere in the world. But then I think once we recognize what those challenges are,
You know the challenges?
I can name a few.
One, just one.
Infrastructure, in terms of physical
All right,
infrastructure.
thank you. Don't worry. You're in the field already.
Okay.
We just want to get this thing going. But are you aware of the provision of educational objectives in the Constitution? Are you aware of that provision?
Not at this point in time, but it's something I will familiarize
It's in the
myself with.
Constitution. It's in Section 9, subsection 2. Write it down. There's something there, the very 2A, that has to do with adult education. It's really my concern. What is your intention in doing with adult education?
So that has two arms. You have the vocational training and then you have the tertiary educational institutions. Vocational training ensures that we produce the middleman power. So ensures, and it also targets young people. We have a very youthful population in Sierra Leone. And not everybody can go to university, but at the same time,
Let's
you
also talk
can.
about the level of literacy that you have had over the years. The level of literacy that we have had over the years.
I think we're making progress.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We're making progress. So
See?
it's maximizing on those benefits.
Especially the adult literacy.
Yes.
So it's really your focus on dealing with the adult literacy. Going in for those who you think really there is challenges in terms of education, to bring them out and give them some adult education. How do you intend to handle that area?
So I believe we have adult education centers.
Yeah.
So it's and they're already there. We're not reinventing the wheel.
No.
We're trying to understand what has worked well over the years so we can build upon that.
Okay, thank you very much. Colleagues, we have Dr. Hajar Ramatullah Guri. Questions first from the ladies.
Dr. Wiri, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Years back, education was like a trash, you know. Girls were less interested in education. And thank God His Excellency came with free education, quality education, and backed up with the hands of our girls, fear the men to, remove their attention on the young girls. So, as you can see from the results, the girls are doing very well. Very, very well. It's like a business. When you start at 10 million and the benefit comes and you start smiling and start growing. So what do you think about the additional ideas to elevate education? But we are not going to be stagnant on this. We need to go forward. What are your intentions? What are we going to add on free quality education and of our girls so that our girls, especially in the provinces, boy, they are really doing very well. Then it was very poor, but trust me, now it's going on, and we shouldn't stop there. So what do you think you can bring some on board, additional ideas to elevate education, especially for the girls?
Thank you very much. So I agree with you that yes, we've come a long way and we're making steady progress, but there's more that can be done. Inclusivity is something that I'm very, very much passionate about. And for me, it goes beyond not just including girls as well. We have other vulnerable groups that we have left behind. So like the disabled groups, for example. So what I think about that, we have the policy up until senior secondary for radical inclusion, which includes everyone, it's inclusive. But then within the universities, we have to do more to include these other vulnerable groups, because otherwise the investment of the free quality education up until senior secondary, we're not protecting that investment. Why train somebody up to senior secondary only for them to not find a place within vocational training or tertiary educational institutions? So what can be done is to ensure that policies are transformative, agenda transformative. We have to ensure that the policies are context specific. I do a lot of research, and a lot of work that I do is generating evidence.
You have a lot of journals.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you have said it all. The nexus that from the secondary level, you have to have a nexus from that point to that of the tertiary education. That's what you have established. So you have a general view of that's what you are looking for. I think what you are saying now, how do you, she's talking about the hands of our girls, these are what is happening. How do you compromise that one? You have talked about the standards that you need to do now. But specifically when you talk about the hands of our girls, that has to do with, because this issue of gender, I know you have been an activist again. So how do you capture that point in your drive as a minister?
The hands of our girls policy, it's all about awareness raising. We're challenging some of the harmful norms that we have been accustomed to when it comes to dealing with women. So it's a progressive thing, it's not going to change overnight. And I will ensure that my ministry supports that initiative. I think the fact that I'm a woman, I'm a young woman in this position is very inspiring to other young people as well.
Thank you very much. I just have one question and two discussion. How do you take this radical inclusion in education? And also, as you have heard from the others, your predecessor was a man, and now a young lady, much more older than you. Now you are going there to represent women and the country. Why I say you are going to represent women out there, because because people we are asking where are the women, and we've started to see the women, and we want to say thanks to His Excellency for that fact. So what I will say when you go there, to be very respectful as I'm seeing you, although I don't have the act in your mind, but I'm seeing you as a very respectful somebody. You have to continue with that, and you should be lukewarm with your juniors, because when you go there in education, they are elderly people, so you should know how you treat them. Thank you very much. Answer that question, the radical inclusion.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Radical inclusion is a starting point. We have to start somewhere to change the narrative when it came to education in the sector. So, in my experience, when you start something new, there's bound to be teething problems. But what you do from that point forward determines whether or not it will be a success or if there's going to be more room for improvement. So I think taking on board what are the lessons that we have learned from the radical inclusion, what has worked well, how can we maximize upon that? And what are the things that have not worked so well? How do we bring all the relevant stakeholders together in a very inclusive manner to address those problems? And even take it a step further and co-create some of these solutions, because that goes a really long way in supporting ownership. If you're involved in coming up with a solution, you feel like that your opinion is being valued, and it really goes a long way in ensuring that whatever you decide is sustainable. And for the second part, thank you for the words of caution and for the words of advice. I think one thing about me is I know that you learn every day. So I am going in, and it's going to be a learning process for me as well. There are others who have worked in the ministry for years. I am going to be learning from them in the beginning, and hopefully over time it will be a two-way thing.
Thank you very much. That's a very good one. You need to learn from the beginning. Conclusive. Next, any other lady we have? No, the ladies first. After the field of the ladies, we go to the other men. No, Paramount Chief.
Yes, thank you very much, and congratulations in advance. You know, I always talk to people that now we have fought for this 30% quota, and now we are seeing it being implemented. It's fine, but the work, the hands on the work, and the way we do it can inform the appointment of more women, can inform the election of more women. You know, sometimes the men do say, when we work with women are very difficult, they are so bossy. You know, they have a lot of adjectives they call us, but we have to prove them wrong. So please, I know you are going there, you'll meet other people that have been there, that have been working. But with you, with humility, with respect or professionalism, you will be able to pave your way through, and they will have you to be retained, to stay until the 5 years. Sometimes they change people because of the appraisal, because of what comes from the ministry as to their human relationship. And I believe women, we are mothers. Sometimes some things you don't want to take, but you take it because of a reason. You take it because you want to see the president's dream come true. You are not doing it. Sometimes you sacrifice your own self. You sacrifice your pride. You sacrifice a lot of things to just see all of you work towards the goal that the president has set. So mine is not a question, but to admonish you as a young woman, because your space can inform other women to be appointed. So please, do all you can. It's a different field. You have been in another field. It's the same field, but a different administration and a different organization. So please, I will pray for you. All of us will pray for all of you that have been appointed.
Who is doing part of that prayer? No, you fast and pray. You here will continue to be who are. All right, no comment. That's a very good one. That's the Honorable Paramount Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Wuri.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure you are aware of the fact that the award of Sierra Leone government grants in aid have been decentralized. Decentralized in the sense that those scholarships are now awarded or interviews are conducted at district level. That's a very good initiative by the ministry or the government. Over the years, I have been a member of the board for the award of Sierra Leone grants in aid on Freetown district by virtue of my position as paramount chief member of parliament. Now, my observation over the years have been that when we conduct those interviews and do recommendations, at the end of the day, those people recommend have been left out. And I want to believe that when you talk about scholarship, especially for students, I think it is meant for vulnerable students, poor, students whose parents cannot afford to pay their tuition fees. But from my own observation over the years as a member of the board of that SRG, many times we do our recommendations, and at the end of the day, when those interviews are conducted and when results come out, those people recommend are normally left out. So I don't know how prepared we are to ensure the actual people recommended, especially the poor, are awarded those grants in aid for SLG.
Thank you very much, sir. I think.
Honorable Paramount Chief Gondo from Kailan District.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. I think in my opinion, what I think is needed is open forums where more of these issues can come up. Because as you rightly pointed out,
Do you think you want to answer the question that has to do with SLG, or you want to take notes and when you get to the office, there is already existing structure.
Yes.
You started very saying something that I really give you the applaud. I said that's all. I said I'm going to land.
Okay.
Everywhere you go, you land. So at the first, I will start. So there's already an existing structure. He has asked very critical questions. I don't want you to put yourself into any more rules.
Thank you.
Maybe you would like to change the information. But first, you look at, they are not giving their awards. So all of us here, we have interest in that business. Student grants in it. So, and your deputy is, we have approved yesterday, say, is continuing the minister. And you are just coming in. So I think he has been dealing with that one through parliament in some channels. We don't want really to comment on that when there is already existential structure in place. And looking at what we have done. We are in the field, but specific administration dealing with you know. So just take note. So when you go, we will come into that office for a second.
It's noted.
Okay. Anybody? Any other question?
Thank you very much, Madam Dr. Hajar. Madam, you've been a researcher and a teacher for all of your lives. You are now moving into education administration. And before now, the 63-4 system was brought in 1992. It was from the 63-4 was brought so that we don't have dropouts. We cater for the middle level bar. It means 6 years primary school, 3 years junior secondary school, 3 years senior secondary school, and 3 years university or technical. But you've noticed the technical vocational has not been the priority too. Everybody is rushing out to the university. Even those without WAS O level, complete WAS O level, are running to the university. The 63-4 was brought so that the second three, you will be assessed, and if you don't have the requisite requirement to university, you should go to technical institution. So we don't allow dropouts. Today, for people who don't have 5 WAS or 4, they cannot darken the wells of the university. he cannot go to technical institutions because they have not been catered for. So you have noticed that you have a lot of dropouts. A lot of dropouts. People attempt to ask once, twice, they don't have the requirement. They are not catered for to go into technical and vocational institutions. And the worst that has happened is that the government, through the Ministry of Senior Technical Education, has created a prelim now, catering for those that do not have the requirements, sending a stronger message that everybody should go to the university instead of creating room for technical and vocational institutions. Are you convinced in your mind that even those that do not have the requisites requirements should go to prelim for to university, or we should cater for more technical and vocational schools? We should cater so that if you don't have the requirement, you go to these technical and vocational schools and reduce the rate of dropouts.
Thank you very much. I think we can do both. So the prelim program is to strengthen those who have the requirements to go into university, to help them, to create a more solid foundation for them when they get into the course itself. But for the technical vocation, what I have realized is that it's a perception thing. I was involved in a research study where we looked at technical vocational training, and the perception out there is it's for dropouts. Parents do not want their children. But the task now is to make it attractive, to change that narrative. And in line with His Excellency's vision to ensure that we build human capital development for the 21st century industries, that there has to be a linkage between vocational training and industry to ensure that when we train these young people, so they're no longer dropouts, when we train them, they acquire employable skills that would support national development. They have industries that they can go into. So it's not going to be an overnight thing, it's a gradual process, but we can change that narrative. So I think we can do both at the same time.
Okay. Madam, do you believe in His Excellency the President?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe in the SL?
Yes, I do.
Are you in the
Overrule. You don't believe in party, forget about that. Yes. Overrule that one. You believe in the president?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm a public servant,
Okay.
working in the interest of Sierra
No,
Leone.
you are not a politician.
No, you can't do that.
You are not a politician.
The rule is, it's a rule.
Dr. Uri,
Yes.
I have a very pertinent question that has been bothering me throughout my year in Parliament or in academia. You see, we are having so much of dropout, not because they are not intelligent, but you are going to read a medicine, for example, or you are going to read medical, civil engineering or medical engineering, and they ask you that you should have English compulsory. A lot of our young boys and girls are dropping out of school because they don't have English. Right? Why am I going to do engineering, for example, or biology or chemistry, and they ask me for English? You don't have English, you don't go to university. Even my colleague was talking about people not going to vocational school, because every vocational school are now asking for English. You must pass English and maths. So what is your take on that?
Thank you, sir. My take on that is every profession that you find yourself in, you should be able to communicate, be it in oral or written form. So English is quite, it's a foundation. You need it. It's a core subject.
It's life and death. They cannot pass the then they'll take the act like a Chinese billionaire 7 times. If they cannot pass the exam, they'll take the exam like the Chinese billionaire 7 times.
Thank you. Thank you very much. By your resume, you've been at the domain of the university as a university lecturer. Now you are appointed and you will be superintending over higher tertiary institutions, colleges and universities. How well will you collaborate with the administration and those authorities so that you bring to fore the vision of this government and the Chief President bill and that of the free quality education. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So this role, it's highly collaborative. You cannot work in silos. So it goes without saying that you have to work with all the institutions that fall within the ministry to ensure that you achieve what you need to achieve. We're all there because we want to make a positive impact. So we have to work our way to.
Well, I think you have done well for yourself.
Thank you.
So we appreciate you for treading light on some of the issues. And I just want to say, when I see the young Sierra Leonean, we are not politicians. I've seen your publications. And very soon you become a professor. Very not too distant future. You see, let me tell you one thing what you have done. You have set the pace. When you address, when you go to the academic platform, which your predecessor was doing, in addressing them, the first thing I go to check your profile. I said you are going to a very difficult community. You feel of this academy, you have the tertiary institution, you have very complex places. You start to hear strike this way, going this way, things going this way. So what first thing I've established is the authority of academic credentials that you have ascertained very well. So when you are talking about things, there are people who have PhD, you don't have publications. Few publications. So when you set a standard, if you want to be a doctor or professor or whatever, you start to yourself. Maybe you're encouraging in these journals that you have done publications. If someone to do, especially for the new universities, for the Eastern Polytechnic and Eastern Technical University you have in Kenema and other places, they want to do publication, but they don't have the means to have a real journal to write. So you have to create that link for them. That can be part of your own drive in opening the ways for them and see how best you can have. You can link, because see your CV is linked to a lot of universities you have been. So even South Africa here, you're an extraordinary lecturer, it's not too far. You can even do link some of these new universities to those universities. So you can have exchange programs, so you change your orientation. And you are in the field, we are every day you have to learn the field of medicine. So you are in the field, every day you have to learn, every day you have to do, every day you have to do. So I appreciate you for that. And I believe after the interview, we have to discuss. These are practically some of the things that you have to face. I mean, you have to be a top of your job. So making your academic credentials very assertive and let them know that you are coming. So I mean, when you are coming, you are addressing those guardians for graduations. You let them know that you have this intention as a minister. These are some of the things we are looking for. Human capital development. Not those who want to have the visual. It's throughout your life. Change, transformation. You educate yourself every day. It's better for you if you see change in lives of people. Thank you for coming, and we do hope and appreciate that you have a successful time when you are approved by Parliament. Have a blessed Juma.
Thank you very much. Have a good
day. I'll have Mrs. Nabila Tunis, proposed Minister of Tourism.
No, it's not Mohamed Tunis, Nabila Tunis.
And I want to recognize the Honorable Speaker of ECOWAS. The Honorable Speaker of ECOWAS, you are recognized, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you. See. No. Mr. Speaker, you are part of us.
No, I'm not. I'm not. This now proposed Minister of Tourism. Nabila Tunis.
I, Nabila Farida Tunis, do solemnly swear.
Hold on. Sorry, ma'am. Sit down, please. You see, oaths are very secret things. You don't, these oaths are, those who are moving now, they are a little bit slow. And those who want to take photograph, make sure this particular photograph you are taking, you have to observe the way you stand before you take the photograph, and you have to look at your dress before you take the photograph.
Mr. Chairman, are you?
Of course, she is one of us. Very like it or not.
The chairman himself.
She is the pillow speaker, pillow MP.
Shadow.
No, don't wait. Are you ready for the photograph? Mr. Pressman, are you in better shape to take a photo? Are you sure? Are you from AYB? We'll make it a very beautiful one.
Oh, that Mr. What?
Who is that?
No, this.
You don't want to see anybody there. Thank you. You have 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Thank you very much for taking a very beautiful photograph of the pillow speaker of ECOWAS Parliament and the honorable member from Freetown District. You have done with the photograph. Who is your photograph? Alright, thank you. So can we push out a bit? Yeah, the video will stay, but you are so mature enough that you have to stand. My colleagues have to watch. So can you stabilize your camera?
What's your height?
Okay. So we said, please stand. Please administer the oath.
I, Nabila Farida Tunis, do solemnly swear
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
that the evidence that I shall give before this committee
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me Allah.
So help me Allah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Where's your name, ma'am?
My name is Nabila Farida Tunis, Honorable Member.
Me, Mohammed Tunis.
What is wrong? Somebody took out your photograph.
The work of the devil.
Your photo, the work of the devil. They haven't seen your photo. Maybe the speaker will take it out. Yeah, so you have to, if you don't see, you have to give your photo. You have been with us for you have, this is a third time coming to us?
The second time.
The second time. Okay, the one was just, no, it's horizontal movement. Yeah, so, okay. So you are coming because this one is now a new dispensation. It's a sixth parliament. Can you read the text below? You know, your photograph is not there, but it's good that you send me your photograph. Yeah? Okay, good. There is a text below where your photograph is supposed to be. Yes.
Canvassing of the committee is strictly forbidden. I, Nabila F.
No, just hold it, don't worry. Do you know anybody on this panel?
Yes, I do see familiar faces.
Familiar faces? You don't know us?
Yes, I know you very well.
No, you know us well, or you just know us?
Extremely well. You've been performing very well.
True, no, that. Who us? True who? There must be a conduit, you want to know?
Well, there's several conduits.
What which one?
I don't know which
the
one.
fundamental one, the actual one.
The fundamental conduit,
yes.
I think he's sitting somewhere around my right.
Yes.
You are canvassing, all the time you are canvassing. But really, it's just a testament that we have been doing well. We have been reading because we have stayed with the previous administration, moving from one place to another. You moved thrice, right?
Yes.
Very sensitive locations. That tells us that you have been performing extremely well. No matter what part of the pendulum we are, or when the pendulum is moving in any direction, or you have been moving in all directions, that means that you can work in any atmosphere. Sometimes I look at you like transformative human being. Yeah, so you are very transformative, giving you the Western region. You have cabinet rank as a minister. It's a very good one, very new phenomenon. I want to commend you for your role you play. This today we talk about women power, your deeds at the United Nations. That's what you have been doing. And you have exhibited so much of your, well, not academic, your skills in terms of setting institutions, bringing people on board. You have a skill in skills of doing things, while you're very assertive. That's what you have. So we for us are proud, not because you have a husband, because you have never been moved. As a woman, thinking about all the devices around your personality as a woman, the challenges that you face as a woman. We are very happy that you have been there working, move from one place to another. You have been very courageous, I can tell you for free. And you have shown that one. You have to manage. You have managed your home today. Yeah. It's a very
difficult man.
Well, I don't know. It's a very diplomatic man. The man who has served parliament. The man who has served in the sub-regional parliament. So we also have to rate ourselves. For the members of the first estate, we are 1994. How do we do our own business in parliament? For this particular sitting, the first law of nature itself is ours. So you are one of us. We cannot repeat ourselves, but to say we are proud because we know we can do better here. So we ask you that you talk about the Bamako event and others. I know you're going to skyrocket all of those ones. So I want to see who wants to ask you a question. Any question?
No question.
No question. So we are proud of you. We hope this industry can transform. But let me just bring you to speak on the seaweeds you have at the beach side. I know you are not there around again, but the seaweed is in there for some time now. Yeah. So I know you have a book. This house is your house, madam. When you want to effect your administrative duty, when you have challenge come, just say Parliament come. So we have to treat this business of seaweed very well, because let us convert the seaweed into another use. There are so many uses for the seaweed. The seaweed you see right now. Try to have the company to convert the seaweed into usable something. You understand? You can use it for so many things. Medicinal and other things. Just check, it's there. So I know just want you to think about something. Thank you very much for coming, Mr. Stunis. We hope to meet you at the plenary. Because I know you'll be there. But let women emulate your courageous attitude and your steadfastness in administration. Thank you very much. May God bless you. Thank you. No, nothing. We are a social admission. Go, let's go. Don't give us one. So let's have the deputy minister. Let our deputy minister talk to
This one put your comment.
Thank you.
Last Friday, we did have to.
You commissioner, also you
Oh, you are still here? You are left now.
Please take photographs, have a seat, give you very beautiful photographs. take a photo for us. We'll put it on our website.
Ready for no more.
These are our nominees. Make them very good before you take their photo. All right, I mean, are you done? Do you want to stand to have a photograph? You can stand. And you have smile. This you are going to put maybe in your office.
Smile.
Are you holding? Is that the Quran?
It's not bad. It's not bad.
I, Khadijatu Grace Henny Kamara, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before this committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you.
I hope you are going to repeat yourself.
I want to take this opportunity to recognize Madam Saina Mosiri, the Commissioner, Western Region. You are welcome. Come to the front. We have been signing our certificates all over the place.
Madam, good morning.
Yeah, thank you for coming. It's fine not to you come to influence us. To influence us. How are you, madam? You look good. Well, that's good. But you have your phone. You have your phone?
Yes, please.
Pick out your phone, please. Take your time.
Are you staying in
What is that? I did not see. Are you talking to someone?
I'm talking to the Baba Chief, sir.
Okay. You have photograph that is in text. Can you read that text for me, please? Yes. Yes, and there's a text.
The text is observing that members of the committee and strictly.
Yeah, the text. No, the text says canvassing of members strictly.
Yes.
Do you canvass anybody on this panel?
No.
Are you sure? Do you know anybody on this panel?
No, sir.
You're under oath. You don't know anybody on this panel.
You know people on this panel. You know people on this panel.
Not personal.
Good. Not relating to their community.
Do you know anybody on this panel?
No, sir.
You just interviewed your minister to be. Are you able to talk to her?
We have been, upon my appointment, we have been in communication at least every other day.
Thank you very much. There is something similar with you and your appointed minister.
She's someone that I look forward to.
No. Something. It's the only one that I have seen from all the nominees, you and your minister. Can you tell me?
I met the Honorable Minister 2019.
No. And she's wondering from that better too. This is the second time she's going, if approved, she's going to be your boss.
Foreign Affairs.
Thank you. So you're director, right?
Yes, sir.
So you people are women. But you know, the 30% quota is for women to promote women's agenda, to fight the gender parity. Do you believe in women's empowerment?
I surely believe in women's
And you don't plan to disappoint them?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate you so much. It has been a very hectic day. I need to understand that you have been sick when you came the first day. I wish you speak recovery. You have talked to your substantive minister, and we know you are just going to be the principal assistant for her. We have done the address entirely. And deputy ministers are always giving the space when the minister says so, but it's going to be a different narrative. Yeah? We don't want you to be just a passerby. So we are a young person, and we believe that we can really compete in bringing some innovations to the ministry. Come to Parliament anytime. Anytime you are called on Parliament, we sit in here. We are in charge of appointment and public service. If you have difficulties, we have to contact us. If you have a disadvantage, contact us. Thanks for coming.
I thank you so much, sir.
So you can go.
And all the members of the committee, I say thank you. Before I leave, sir, I'd like to submit my book as a gift to the library.
The library, okay. You give it to the clerks.
Okay.
We are busy with talking politics. We are busy with reading. Thank you for giving us a gift.
Thank you. And also, please, if you would permit me, in the application form, the last form, it states the date is not updated. If they'll kindly update it.
I've seen most of that. Even the people is a gift. I've seen it. We're asking for the cost. Better than it.
Thank you, sir. I'm grateful. Thank you.
Deputy Minister of Health 1.
Commissioner, I need to be interviewed.
Commissioner.
No.
Okay. Bye. Thank you.
Commissioner of Health, when they came right from the top to the bottom, the owner that did them all. The doctor in ophthalmology, doctor in science. I don't know that guy is possible. What day is he? TV computer. You don't see all that picking.
I know something about it together.
Mustafa. Say Mustafa, you don't see you. The ophthalmologist. Yo, this is the guy you wait like the guy about America. You don't see you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I, Charles Edward Lava, SLSC, do solemnly swear
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. Take your phone quickly. Take out your phone. Are you satisfied with the photographs?
Yes, please.
Okay. So because you have to put them in the office and give you one. So you want more?
If you give more, I take more.
Expensive.
If we ask the photographs to take the photo, it will be very expensive for you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Let them do it voluntarily. You are what? What's your name?
Charles Edward Lahai Senes.
And you don't have any title?
I'm a medical doctor and associate professor.
You see that ministry you are supposed to go.
Yes.
All of you are doctors. The one that you are just is doctor. The one yesterday is doctor.
Okay.
So you are going. It's a doctor saturated ministry. So they are going to be the doctors again. Okay. And you're not going to business. This text below your photograph, you have the text.
Yes. Canvassing of members of the committee is strictly forbidden.
Did you canvass anybody, doc?
No, sir.
Thank you. As I said it earlier, you are going as deputy minister if you are approved by this house. So we are hoping that when you get to the office, you have a chance to do your bits. But it's just a quick one. In your form, your balance for your bank account. Just look at it. Look at your funds. There's a report in the balance and it's not consistent. Yes. I don't know how. And it's handwritten. Just check. Just go to. Have you ever filled anti-corruption form?
No.
So you went from here. When you assume office by God's grace, you have to fill the anti-corruption form.
Okay.
There's a notice out.
Yeah,
so this also there is asset declaration.
Okay.
So we want to put you in a better footing.
Okay.
So we cannot give you a false impression as if what you have here cannot be sent to anti-corruption for verification. You can ask for any document. So what we can ask you to do, I don't want to be your bag there, it's not consistent. So you, after the years, you want us to go through it, you can see. It's not. The balance you have and the one that you have written is different. Or you don't mind changing it, or you want to change?
Well, I will go through it again and change.
Good. So you do that with the clerk. It's good for you to have your records in proper manner, because this is the bank statement giving. Okay. You have written differently. Yes, don't worry, you have accepted. You check out. Okay, we just said for the others, you can cross check again before you can approve. You can look out for your insurance policy. What if you have a vehicle, right?
Yeah.
But no insurance policy for the vehicle. So that's one you have to check. But you have a vehicle, right?
I have a vehicle.
Yeah, the vehicle is a Mercedes-Benz ML500.
Yes, please.
Very nice one. It's a model I've seen.
Yes.
That's a nice one. And is it a party or premium or insurance?
The insurance is just normal insurance.
It's third party. So you just tell them that it's good.
Okay.
Yes. Doc, do you have anything to tell us about this ministry? Tell about the health situation. Do you have anything to tell us?
Well, I know, like most third world countries, our ministers of health have challenges. And I've been part of this ministry. I was trained in Sierra Leone.
Yes.
So I worked extensively here. I went out. I've been coming every year with the medical team to complement the efforts of the Minister of Health.
I don't want us to express that one. We know about that.
Okay, so
where have you been working when you came with the medical doctors?
I worked in Kabalapo in Adobe 2017. 2018, I worked in Thailand. 2019, I took the team to Moyamba. 2020, the corona was a bit illegal, so I put my resources. 2021, we were in Karine.
Okay, no, don't worry. Your minister said they're having challenges having a medical professional taking the field, more interest in administration instead of medical work. What is your own take in supporting your minister in that field?
Well, I believe having worked extensively as a clinician and a public health specialist as well, when you take public administration, health is a holistic field. That means you don't necessarily need to be the hospital for you to contribute to the healthcare delivery system. And you can do it from a policy level, because those working in the hospital, they need good policies. And it can only be done by people who actually understand what it is. So when you work as an administrator, having worked in the hospital, you bring added value to what is going on in the healthcare delivery system.
Okay, but we have limited doctors, you know, right?
Yeah, I mean, that one is not only in Sierra Leone, it's global. I work on the WHO, and one of the think tanks of thinking how would we address the healthcare system in low and middle income countries. So Sierra Leone is not an exception. We can work.
All right, no, don't worry, we don't want to take you too much. You have a minister, you are the one, and you have two. I like the combination. If you are, because your minister has passed through us, and the deputy too, you are already one remaining. Oh yes, you're going to meet a very nice combination. And all of you are, we have just been talking about doctors. The only ministry is certificated doctors. All of them are doctors in medical field. The one is a scientist, the other one is direct medicine doctor, the other one is ophthalmologist. So you people, nobody is going to tell you what you don't know. So the only thing, you come together, you work in the interest of the state. Like he said, you have been bringing doctors. So you have the platform now. It's like sometimes when you're outside, you cannot fix it. Come in to fix it. We have a platform now to bring those who want them to come to help us in the medical field. I think with what you have said, if you have a good team, there are better days lies ahead of us. My colleagues, do you have any question for the Deputy Minister proposed? Any question? Yeah, Emma Sinamina, Honorable.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Dr. Senesi, I am a provincial MP, a rural MP, coming from the provinces. One of the challenges over the years is a shortage of peripheral health units, PHU. Let me give you these short statistics. I'm coming from Kawah District, for example. Kawah District comprises 14 chiefdoms, 70 sections, and 1,622 villages, with only 90 PHUs. You can imagine the disparity, with only 90 PHUs across the 14 chiefdoms. I'm looking forward to Dr. Senesi. What will he do to work with his team, 2 ministers, to look out for donor money that will be grants. Sierra Leone government is not too interested in no. We are looking for grants. So this is the magic arm Dr. Senesi to play. What's the magic that you are coming with for us to have donor money, to have more PHUs, not only for Kawah District now, but across Sierra Leone? That's the question.
But you have the best medical center now.
Thank you very much. And well, I mean, primary health care is really the greatest focus for us, because if you can increase that health awareness, if you can increase the health seeking behavior of people in the periphery, you actually achieve a lot. And I really take note of what you said, and I'm sure the minister himself, we have had lots of discussion, we have colleagues, each time I come around, and the need for the peripheral health units cannot be underestimated. And we will work all out to go through that.
Thank you. Rampant in one hood. Any other question?
Yes.
Yes. Let's give her the mic, please. No, give her the mic.
Decline.
No, she's going to talk.
Yeah, Dr. Senesi, as you know, health is the best thing everybody is asking on earth. And as you know, Honorable was just talking to you about the other nurses. We don't have real nurses in those areas, hard to reach areas. Simply because they don't want, these ladies don't want to go there because there's less profit there and their lives are not improved. So therefore, we have the tendency of having these nurses. So what I want you to help us do, can you kindly introduce that in the ministry, that all nurses that are willing to go to the hard-to-reach areas, let there be a different salary compared to those working in the cities, in the biggest towns. That actually will stimulate the nurses to go. So for that reason, I have some nurses there. I have been trying for the past 5 years to get them a pin code or give them a pin code so that they can get to those hard-to-reach areas. And those hard-to-reach areas, trust me, Doc, these people that volunteer to go, make it a point of duty and visit them. They have goats. They're now even having chickens, rice, palm oil. We give to these people because we want to encourage them, you see. But please, let's be professional. Let these people be encouraged by at least giving them a pin code. They will stay, improve their salary. They will stay, or else that hard-to-reach areas will no longer be considered as part of Sierra Leone. Thank you.
Noted. All right. Okay, thank you very much. I think no other question. We have seen what you want to do. All collaborations with your minister to do it on their own. We pray that the thing on paper will reflect on the field of work. Yeah? Okay. So CVs can speak to the actual reality of life we are facing in the health sector. Thank you very much for coming, sir. We wish you all the best. And you do the one or two corrections. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Have a blessed day. Thank you very much. Algali, is Algali? Musa? Mamusu. I call it your turn. Mamusu Masakwe. Mamusu Masakwe. Yeah. D'accord. Yeah. No answer, please. No answer, please. Do you understand? You take a photo. You are okay, sit. Or you just want to take a photo, you don't want to take it. You don't want to do the photo.
All the pictures.
All.
What is it? Outside.
I mean, these are the rules.
Please.
Magistrate Patricia Onema Sakwe,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have your form? Do you have a form with you?
Yes, sir.
Below text, below photograph, can you read the text for us?
Canvassing of members of the committee is strictly forbidden.
What's your name?
I, Manusu Kome Masakwe.
Okay, thank you. Do you know anybody on the panel?
Yes, I do know everyone on the panel as members of parliament.
You canvass anybody?
No, I have not.
You be in the civil ministry?
Yes, sir.
Do you know my constitutional provision? Talking about primary and secondary education. The primary and junior secondary education is free or compulsory. Do you know that?
Yes, sir.
You also know that for the secondary it is when we can say when practicable. Do you know that?
Yes, sir.
So we made a empowering they're talking about human capital development. Because you people do well in your former capacity as a minister, deputy minister in that ministry, working with the appointed chief minister, right?
Yes, sir.
Try your best. So everybody I'm talking about, there are challenges anyway. There are still huge challenges. So, but you try to see how best you can take care of the ones that you can at the moment.
Yes, sir.
So I think that has been the more reason why they have decided to reappoint you.
Yes, sir.
So what can you tell us in the office if you go back?
If I go through the interview process and I retain my position, I hope to focus on the foundational learning, which is the new mandatory 1 year, because we found out that most people, including adults, have missed foundational learning in the sense that they might be educated, but then they have a low level of comprehension. So we want to focus this time around on foundational learning to improve on those early years and catch them young, like they would say, to ensure that we build on the primary and secondary education. We all know that free quality is free, but we'll be focusing on improving those areas, those bottlenecks of ensuring that there's full quality into the system itself. So those will be my two focal points.
All right. I'm happy you mentioned about the other literacy programs, and that's good. So, colleagues, any question for her? Yes, go ahead. You have a mic?
No.
Station the mic here.
No.
Yeah, this position.
Station the mic here.
Madam, do you believe in radical education?
Radical.
Inclusion?
Very much so, yes.
Okay. I have seen premature babies at 6 months, 7 months have survived. Why am I asking this kind of question is that for the fact that we have accepted pregnant girls to go to school, there's a possibility that girls might get into labor during classes. Have you thought of at least creating maternity kind of dispensary in these schools? Because education is actually playing with danger. if that is the case, make sure we have these petty nurses around. Well, this is what I'm trying to say, because if you don't have this, well, what I'm saying petty is that you should have these nurses around these schools. It is so dangerous because something really almost happened in my constituency. This girl just was in labor. Nobody knows about, babies and all these things. And if you have accepted, please make modalities. Make sure we have logistics on board to save the lives of these girls. Because, okay, we accept, and you said, yes, you believe in it, and you believe it. I mean, I can see it on your face. So let's do something to save the lives of these people. And the panic you are going to create in classes when these girls come around this kind of accident. I'll call it an accident because they might not be expecting it, and it comes. So that psychological effect also have, and we don't have psychological. It is not a language anyway. So, madam, please let's think about this, okay?
She's thinking about it.
But you can walk like that with the
Yeah, she's thinking about it.
Thank you very much. Mamusu. You've been nominated to go and face the same place, the same office. But I know you are going there with new vigor to show the capability of women like you. I have no doubt. Anyway, go there and prove your mettle. When approved by this house, so that we have more women. Be lukewarm, respectful as usual, so that we can have more women in the cabinet and even parliament. So I wish you well and congratulations in advance. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any further questions? No further question, but you have to do things for your form. Have you ever filled the anti-corruption form?
Yes.
So you have a property, I think you are paying bills, right?
Utility bills?
Yes.
Yes.
So you said not applicable. You have to do that one. Are you ready to do the corrections?
Yes. Yes, I can do that.
So if you are doing the correction, make sure you do that one before you come. It goes forward for the approval. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay. So it's not all of them you can say not applicable. Some of them can be not available. You cannot say for being of these not applicable. You have a house, so you are paying this.
So the question, I think it was a bit confusing for me. It says bills receivable, example, bill of exchange.
A bill receivable is an investment made in a bank for which you are expecting a return. So example, if you paid in money, if you invested in treasury bearer bond, the interest on the treasury bearer bond, for example, is a bill receivable.
So that was why I put not applicable, because I don't have that.
Promissory notes you have?
No.
What about the bill of exchange you have?
No, sir.
You don't have proof. Well, the bill of exchange is not a document in its certainty. The bill of exchange is an irrevocable transfer from one person to another.
You have.
For the indicator of the others.
Go and look at it. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
So the others that you can see not available. You have any generator?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, I did take the cost.
Yeah. You did? Okay. You did not. Okay, your sponsor also needs to do. Okay, is there a plan to match? Have you seen it?
Plants and machinery, yes.
And you said you have, right?
I do have one, yes.
Okay, so what you're going to do before you can present to the plenary, you have to make sure it sits and it be cost. Yeah?
Yes.
All of the 1 year. That's what shall be done, so people. Now after the interview, you know you can be on a normal temperature and pressure, so you take your time, fill out the form. Yeah. So all those, because you should be consistent. As you said, you feel like it's cross for months, right?
Yes.
And very soon they're asking you to fill another one.
Yes.
So these are all these things you see, they are to have declaration of assets. So they have the right to come here and take any of your documents. So the one that you go to your file, let it be clear. And this is not your first time coming here.
No.
So your documents should be consistent. So what will have it now updated? So they have cash at hand, 5 million old notes. Do you have it?
Yes. Now?
Do you have it now?
No. At the time I was filling the form.
Are you from Kailan?
What insurance policy you're talking about?
Who is asking whether she's from Thailand?
It's based abroad. It's based abroad. Once I was there, it's part of my life insurance policy.
The figures you are giving, is it in what currency?
Pounds.
But it's not stated. You should also say that in the investment. These people here have no vehicle insurance policy.
Third party.
Good, but you did just state it. You did not state it at all. And no cost?
Of the third party?
No, the vehicle, the Twitter Forerunner, the Nissan Sin, what is that? No, it's not Sin. CIN? No, it's not nothing. What vehicle is that? Nissan what?
It says Nissan in garage.
No, we should not give us that one. Look at the question, brother.
It says both cars, lorries, and other vehicles.
Anyway, check it. Just give us the cost.
Okay.
Yeah, you wanted to. Particulars of all properties. Do you stand by what you are giving us?
Yeah, the dwelling house I live in, that's my residence. That's where I once had my last apartment.
So this one is okay with you?
Yes, sir. Number 3 is new.
No, you're asking for name of tenants. If you don't have tenants.
No, I live in the house, I don't have tenants.
So you don't need to state anything, you're just saying none. Alright. Okay. So as I said, your bank balance is okay. Do you have anything to tell us about the ministry? Anything you want to tell us?
Well, the ministry is like home to me now, so I'm looking forward to working with the new minister to deliver on all promises.
Since Bella Pikin has moved on.
You have a new minister now?
Yes. He designates.
Have you worked with him before?
Yeah, he was the chair of the Teaching Service Commission before.
Saki.
Saki, so we worked closely together.
All right. We hope to give you same support to your minister when approved.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you. You can go. We have the chairman for Sierra.
Next.
It's called Jamil. Call for Isata. We have the target. That's what we know. Where's our document? Where's the target? We document. Let me give you one of you. Give me one. Let me forget this.
You know they have no. Sorry.
One photograph. Then take you some picture, right?
I, Asata Kamara, do solemnly swear that the evidence I shall give before this committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Okay, are you done with the photograph?
Take the phone.
Take your phone out.
Push it behind.
Take your phone, sir.
Remove it.
The phone.
They are going to ask you.
Okay, what's your name, ma'am?
My name is Asata Kamara.
Oh, yeah, Minister of what?
I'm the Deputy Minister of Fisheries and Marine Resources designate.
Okay, thank you. For your photograph, there is a text. Have you? Yeah, take your format. Can you read that sentence or below your photograph?
Canvassing of members of the committee is strictly forbidden.
Do you know anybody on this panel?
I know them. I know most of them.
Okay, did you canvass anybody? We are around all these things. What have you been doing around us?
I was called for the meeting, but after you beginning,
He's still around. We saw you on camera. You lost the canvas.
No, I was not. I sat at the gallery waiting for me to be called.
For something fundamentally missing, bank statement. How do you manage to get the bank balance?
From my phone. I have the app in my phone.
So you should have the copy. You can print it out even from your phone.
So we verify.
So we can just verify, because if you just can state you don't know what you are stating, you don't have access to your phone. So all of this you have to review as we submit, otherwise you can't present it to the panel. Please, this is the second time coming, right?
I'll do that on Monday.
Well, anytime. Yeah, because if you don't present it. Now what is any? Cash at hand. What do you mean? This one is in what currency? 1, 2, 3 is in what currency?
1, 2, 3.
Yes, check. Just look. Turn over the next page. They said where you have cash at hand.
It's in news.
It's in news.
It's money.
What type? Old note or the new?
Is the new money?
That's huge amounts.
No. The zero is a full stop.
The old or new? The old note or the new note?
This is the new one.
It's 100.
That's a new note.
That's the
right?
new note.
That's a new note. The new money, SO2.
No, don't force out. Is it old note or the new note?
The day I was doing it, what I was
No, let us establish first what type of the notes. The old note or the new note?
This old money and this new money are confusing.
Very well.
Yes, okay, tell us. It's not confusing. Tell us what was in your hand. No, don't worry. What was in your hand?
It was 123,000 that I was doing.
The old one. The old one. We can distinguish between the old note and the new note. We can distinguish.
Now, if you say the new note 121,000, old note you're talking about 121 million.
No, eh?
Just say
old note.
Okay, colleagues, it's a old note, yeah? So to be that correction, yeah? The correction. You can
It depends. This pen back.
do that correction before you can. No, after you have to come back with that form. But are you ready to do corrections on the phone?
On the phone?
No, the form.
Yes.
Yes, I will do it.
No, wait after, here after. What is any?
Not everything.
So you state it. Because it's just stated. You just said N/E. So you look at it where you have not applicable, not available. Yeah. So I'm constructing a house and construction farm in Morocco.
Yes.
Why not Freetown?
It is my home and I need to help my people. I am ordered Jacob.
Okay. Yeah, use of machines. The one with heavy KVA, 250 KVA. Where are you using it?
I'm not using it. I bought it when I was resident minister. I bought it so that Gambia would. I wanted to start initiate the light system in Bamoy. Since Bamoy is an international market that was doing electricity. So that one was sold by WFP when they were doing their auction. So I bought it from them so that Gambia will got light.
Okay, it's true.
But I spoke to the minister.
Okay.
He said it's not possible.
No. You bought it?
On your own?
Yes, on my own.
Okay, no problem. They all use one, yeah, right? Okay. But you have equal. Your properties, your particulars of all properties. Do you think you understand with those ones? Yeah, we have written them, or you want to change it?
Which ones?
Particulars of all properties. Item 17. You want the tabular form.
If I have their documents,
But are you sure it's consistent? At least we have values you have given. Because you know,
they are present value because
they are the face value at the moment.
Yes, because
okay, you know I'm confused. You don't know where they are, but in what currency have you expressed them?
In news, sir.
So it's not stated, you have to state in news.
Mr. Chairman, sorry. And Madam Minister, when you are stating there, you have to be very careful because I know the money is confusing you. For example, if it's 1 million leones, old note, and 1 million leones, a new note, that means it's 1 billion. In the
so can we see if the actual face value you have given to us? So what these those documents obtainable. Draw for. So who signed the document? Senior district officer, why?
I am the JP input local, but I cannot sign on my.
Thank you very much. I know that's why I asked that deliberate question. Thank you. All right. That's a very good one answer. Any other question from anybody? Okay, madam, your appointment is a testament that you have been doing well. Resident Minister, Deputy Minister, right? And now marine resources, right? And we hope that what you have said and the Chief Minister promised when approved that he will do his best to ensure that there is clear tax responsibility in all of you. We thank you for coming, and when you have done this submission, when you resubmit, you are preparing for the plenary. Yeah, please do if you come today, no problem. Monday, yeah, because we have sittings on Tuesday. Okay, you can go.
The one for
the corrections that I've given you, check with the clerk's office. If you're confused, just talk to them. Yeah, they will give you a help.
Thank you.
Yeah, so come from the Deputy Minister Jamiru. Local government.
Wait, we'll call out this one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't get it. I don't have it. I will send this. I mean, I will love it. I can we have Mr. Jamiru in? Let me fast, please. Yeah. Quick photographs and yes. We administer the court. All right. Christy.
I, Alfred Mori Jamiro, do solemnly swear that the evidence I shall give before this committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you.
All right, do you have your phone with you, sir?
Yes.
Yes. Just look at your photograph where you have it and read the text below the photograph.
Canvassing of members of the committee is strictly forbidden.
Did you canvass anybody?
No, Mr. Chairman.
You think you don't know anybody on this panel?
I do know people on the panel.
Okay. So it's just a bit for us to make it very clear in fighting corruption. When you're given an appointment, you move around campus. Okay. You have bank accounts, 2 bank accounts, yeah?
Yes.
Commercial bank, right?
Yes, commercial bank.
Okay, yeah, okay. I can pronounce it. So tell us, in the local government, you are coming in. What's your intention when you have provided this out? What will be your own contribution as you bring to the fore for the improvement of the local government and community affairs?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs, as the name itself, speaks to the importance of its work. I have teased colleagues around telling them that I think the most important ministry amongst the ministries is local government, aware of the fact that when you take into consideration the scope of work in areas dealing with paramount chiefs, district councils, city councils, etc., etc., one would only imagine that such a ministry has a broad spectrum of work. What do I bring to the table to this ministry is one, my academic experience and qualification, and also my professional experience and communications and management. Also, added value is the fact that I had the opportunity during COVID to work with paramount chiefs, councillors, district council chairs, etc., etc. And those interactions also provided some insight as to what is expected of me and I think that I should be able to do work within the ministry.
Right. Because these are dealing with traditional people, and we know you have to do your best in handling them. So do you see any challenge with them?
Yes, there are no scope of work that do not have a challenge. I think that what is important is to be able, in this ministry, to listen keenly, consult, with my ministers and those professionals that have been there, and also consult with other paramount chiefs whom I've had leverage with prior to now. And I think that those leverages will be able to help me.
So are you going to do it alone?
This is a teamwork. There is no scope of work that anybody can do alone, irrespective of your expertise. And
you and who?
The minister, the professionals in the ministry, etc.
So you be going alone and taking your minister along, or your minister will be taking you along?
Well, I think the minister, by all means, is the head of the ministry, will be taking me along. He's already giving me some insight as to what I should be expecting. And thank goodness I've had some acquaintance with the minister prior to now. And I think that I'll just build on that.
During COVID?
During COVID.
All right. I think they are placed in trying to see when they approve the work we can do together with the minister. So any other person that wants to ask questions? Have the paramount chief here? Paramount chief, you have the mic.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Deputy Minister of Local Government Designate. As a young man, you'll be taking up appointment, hopefully, as Deputy Minister of Local Government. And this institution, I want to believe, is the oldest institution of governance in the sub-region, especially areas where the British people colonized. With the advent of colonialism, the British people never bothered to tamper with this institution because it is a sacred one. And therefore, they decided to rule our people in the provinces using the indirect method. But at certain point in time, especially during the days of Sierra Leone, by then, in 1968, then I was in the secondary school. That was the time I started experiencing politics. This institution was commercialized. And chieftaincy is the only institution in this country that is acquired by inheritance. No other institution in this country is acquired through that method. But as I said, during the days of Sierra Leone, it was commercialized. We had a lot of ruling houses, that came up during that period. But thank God, when late Jan Kaba came into office, he tried to ensure that this institution of chieftaincy actually gets what is due, and therefore he started gaining his past glory as a new and young man coming to this ministry, especially at this point in time when His Excellency the President has told us that he wants to make this institution relevant. How prepared are you to actually ensure that the President, how prepared are you to ensure that you actually makes the President actualize this new vision of making this institution relevant?
Thank you, Honorable. First of all, I want to disclose that I am a grandson of a senior section chief, and therefore coming into the institution, I bring memories of my grandfather. Secondly, those who have worked with me and who know me, I'm a traditionalist and believes in the culture, which is embodied in the office of the chieftaincy of paramount chiefs. I think you alluded to the fact that the President, His Excellency, have taken steps to actually ensure that this office remain viable within the administrations of governance in this country. I think there is not much to be said to that end. What I would bring to the table is to work with my minister and other professional heads in consultation with the paramount chiefs themselves, so that we can actualize what the 5th Parliament and the Parliament before them have actually put in place in restoring the dignity and the pride of the institution of chieftaincy. And that is a promise I commit to keep.
Okay. Mr. Jamiru, you made me very scared. Very, very scared and worried. Are you aware that section chief is not inheritant? Are you aware of that?
Of course I am.
Anybody can be section chief.
Of course I am.
Australia.
Of course I am.
So if you told me that you are going to bring that memory from your grandfather to the chieftaincy, then that makes me very scared.
Well, let me allay the fears. My grandfather was notable to have been the chief, if not the chief consultant, but I would say one of the eminence of those chiefs that served Chief Kotutu Kutubu in his days.
Where?
He was trusted.
Which chiefdom is that?
And that's Upper Bambara chiefdom. And humbled to have my paramount chief here at the committee.
Hey, look at the paramount chief here. And you should not have asked it for sure.
Exactly. Because Mr. Chairman, this is why I said I'm scared. The chief was asking about, or alluding to the fact that paramount chieftaincy is an inheritance. Right? That's the only position in this country you cannot bear if you are not member of the ruling house. And
that was before.
Even now.
Oh, now we know many people that are paramount chiefs that are not.
No, but that's part of corruption. I'm talking about what is supposed to.
Corruption.
I'm telling you about what is supposed to exist. I'm not saying what it exists. What is supposed to exist is the fact that you cannot be a paramount chief if you are not a son or daughter of a ruling house. Right. Whether it's been polluted or not, but that's a fact. Right? So, I mean, when you said you bring that memory from your grandfather, who was, and sections you can be anybody, even a stranger or a foreigner, as long as you are liked by the people in the section.
I agree, honorable member. But also,
you don't do that. You wait when it's done. We ask you to answer. So let's keep it. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yes.
No, hold on. How do you want to ask question?
No, sir, I don't have a question.
So do you want to make points?
Yes. What I was alluding to in the memories of my grandfather is aware of the fact that stories told to us about our grandfather is that he was a loyalist to the chieftaincy. That's the office of the paramount chief in his days, and it is against that background and aware of that relationship that the paramount chiefs are head of the chiefdom. Therefore, coming from that memory of how my grandfather served our paramount chief, I think that I can comfortably say that at the end of the day, to serve him well, I think I can only make sure that I do not only serve them well, but ensure that they are protected as well, as far as my capacity goes.
Thank you. Any further question? Anybody? All right. We have heard you. Just say that your form. Ask a question about Well, no problem. Okay, we hope and pray that when you are approved, you can walk in line and see some of these reforms. Because we have just passed the new Local Government Act. Yeah, so there's much to do. The master talk about the minister talk about the level of decentralization. How do you decentralize some of these, or how do you have the default functions from some ministry going to local councils? So we still have more work to do. We hope that when you get to the ministry, after approval, you can give you a little bit of support that you can. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Karu. Let's have Mr. Dixon.
One minister remaining.
Oh, don't we are
Where? So where?
Colombia.
Yeah.
You have where?
Congratulations.
We have from where? So we have from
Yes, sir.
Right. While we are waiting for that, you can have some photographs.
Lamia? Lamia, stay first.
Sir?
You too, come on.
I'm not saying
Yeah, the form.
Yes, sir. Which of the forms, sir? As a declaration?
No. The one that was issued by Parliament.
Yes, sir.
You can make that available to the chairman.
No, let's back. Have you administered the oath? All right, administer the oath first.
Muslim. I, Lansana Mohammed Dumbuya, do solemnly swear that the evidence as I'll give before this committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me Allah. Thank you.
Thank you. You have your form.
The form? Yeah.
Yes. I need a correction on one page.
You asked to do directions. No, you didn't appear.
No,
Yeah,
this is the first time.
Yeah.
Or do you have your phone with you?
Yes.
Okay, let's go to the phone, please.
Yes, sir.
Can you read the text with you? Who are those standing at the back?
Parliament we are.
Yes, sir.
Can you read the text below your photograph for me?
Canvassing of members of the committee is strictly forbidden.
Did you canvass anybody on the committee?
No, sir.
Do you know anybody on the panel?
Well, I have acquaintances with some that are members of the committee.
In what capacity?
As an example, I don't know if Saima St. Honorable is here. He is my college mate at Njala University. And some of the members seated here, I met with them when we were trying to do the reforms at the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
All right, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So you are the Minister of what?
I'm designated Deputy Minister of Employment, Labor and Social Security.
You are continuing the same ministry?
Yes, sir, but with additional responsibility now.
Yes, we know. Employment added, right?
Yes, sir.
So good. We are aware of the act to pass.
Yeah, we were successful in passing 3 acts.
Yes. Okay. So just what you can do is, then you cannot just draw line in the answers, try to put something down. If it's not available, not available, just draw a line like that. Yeah?
Okay, sir.
For the records to stand very outstanding, make it very clear.
Okay, sir.
Make it very outstanding that it's not lying, make it clear. None. If available, not available, applicable, not applicable.
Thank you, sir.
What type of generator are you having?
Used generator on
what type of KVA?
5 kVA.
You bought them used one?
Yes, sir, from the local markets here.
What type of insurance are you talking about? Just under 1 kVA. What type of insurance?
Those are the third-party vehicle insurance. The Honda that I was using in 2018.
So you have to do that correction.
Okay.
Different thing that you have given us.
Okay, sir.
Cost of all. So your particulars are still like the way you want them to be. In what currency?
Which one are you referring to, sir?
Item 17, particulars of all properties.
They are in Leones, the new Leones.
Yeah, in new Leones. So you have to state that one clearly for you to have a proper record. Have you filled the anti-corruption form before?
Yeah,
are these properties consistent with what you have at the anti-corruption?
Yeah, I submitted.
Or you want to do upgrade?
The only thing that I have to add, I've just been awarded a lease at Bongawaf.
Right.
I've paid for the lease for 3
you don't
years,
mind, yeah,
but
so
I have not incorporated that.
So you don't mind upgrading it?
I think I need to add that.
All right. You don't mind starting with this? You don't mind changing some of these things that you have? Are you starting with it?
Yes, I want to.
Form, right, President?
Yes, I want to.
Okay, so you do those corrections before we can present you to the plenary.
No problem, sir.
This form is not tenable. You should not use commissioner for oath. You should not use commissioner for oath. Are you not giving anywhere they said commissioner of oath? They said the three options, any of the following. The judge of the High Court, the judge of the peace, and the provincial secretary or district officer.
So sorry,
Yeah, so
I effected that correction yesterday.
Yeah, so
the colleague spoke to me, I did it and submitted the correction.
Sorry, you cannot submit together with all of the others. Let me see that one.
Yeah, this is the correction I made.
This table has been informed you is also one that you are giving now as a correction. It's also a bit different.
Yeah, with the exception of the land that's
so there's one land in Gambia.
Yeah.
The value, the face value here is different from what you are giving us. There is no different Gambia. Yes, Gambia 59. Yes, about 2012. We have no 2012 here.
Yeah, I think I failed to enter that document, but in my anti-corruption,
you cannot have two documents, so you have to really present it in the one that you have. It should be in line with the one they have anti-corruption.
No problem.
So you do not have inconsistent documents.
No problem. I will do these corrections.
All right. Do you have anything to say new to us? If you go to the ministry again, now.
The only new thing I have to add is that the president has said in the manifesto he will be creating at least 500,000 jobs every year. At least we will have at least 100,000 jobs. So that means the commitment of this house. Because we've been having
commitment of this house.
Yeah, why I'm saying that the commitment and the support. We are talking about the areas of the agreement that comes to this house.
Yeah, we will support you, eh?
Yeah, previously my minister has been saying that whatever agreement is coming here, as long as it has employment component, we have to insert that in the agreement, and the labor has to be given that responsibility to monitor. So I want to, and the other one I have that I need your support is in the area of work permit. So sorry we cannot overturn your decision, but before the 5th Parliament, there was an agreement that a blanket amnesty was given to nearly 50.
So we have now enacted a new law.
Okay.
For work permits.
Yeah, I know. So that was a very big challenge for us.
We should not enforce the law in the act.
The new.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes. You should not enforce what you have in here.
So does it mean that the agreement that was passed in the
when you have an act, when you have an act,
yes.
When you have an act and you have the agreement, you should sit down to synchronize, because the agreement was passed in Parliament. So we agree that concessions are given. That doesn't mean you are removing the law. Concessions, those concessions are temporary concessions. So you should follow up with them. It's not a blanket forever. It's for a temporary measures to encourage investors to come.
Thank you.
When you read the agreement, it's clearly stated there. Those concessions given are very temporary. They are not there for life. Yes. And for the issue of employment, we to check the agreements. So many agreements, you see, they are coming to employ in the next 6 months. Look at them. If you're doing 2,000 jobs, 1,000 jobs, check them. You need to follow up. Now you have an addendum to your ministry employment. So if you see you have passed the agreement and you have a timeline given, you should go on physical check. Get to the industry and check how many employees you have. You take that record, compare it with NASI's record. So encourage your workers to know the clause around casual workers.
Is this your document?
So you have to take that one. Colleagues, any question?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
She's looking for a document.
Where is it?
Yeah, Chairman, thank you very much. You are now going to be responsible for the Ministry of, if approved, of course, employment. You see, if you are very current, Silicon Valley was created by 3 students, graduates. They sat together, and today is a multi-millionaire people. It's a young boys. So we are producing a lot of graduates every year. We government cannot employ all of them. So I'll actually, if it is possible for the ministry to visit, do some visitation in these universities, in this vocational institute, for example, and try to talk to them how best you can put them together and create, employment for themselves. Because a graduate already is a job created. You have created something within yourself, and you have it up there. So let's see how best we can try this time around. It's an innovation. Let's see whether we can get some people coming together, some students, like agriculture, for example, come together, create something for themselves while waiting for government to employ them to actually come across them. Because we cannot continue like this. Ever since I have not seen, graduates coming together to create, something for themselves. Like a research office for themselves. So please, Mr. Minister, we need to help these guys. They need us, they need your know-how for them to get something ongoing. A lot of them are on Okadas. They are graduates, riding Okadas. But it's much, much better than Okadas, you see. So this is actually my concern. Thank you.
You have anything to say?
Yeah, I want to thank the Honorable Member for this presentation. I think it needs a concerted effort. As you are saying, the Ministry of Agriculture, the Youth Ministry, and now there is a very big opportunity. His Excellency is saying he wants to create at least 500,000 jobs before the end of his tenure. So all of us need to come together. And even in our last tenure, we started having meetings with Commerce, Chamber of Commerce, where they were bringing out proposals, because it also has to deal with the skills of the user we have. There are certain skills that are required in certain areas, like I'm issuing out the work permit. If you look at the work permit now, like if you go to Bhutan, most of the West Africans that are there are coming from Ghana. And when you look at it, there are skills that we are supposed to be able to acquire here, but it needs dedication. And that's why we've even asked, before we approve some of your work permit now, we need a training succession plan, and we monitor those succession plans to see that if you say you want to train Sierra Leoneans, but you also have to deal with the commitment of our citizens. Because what we've realized is that some would start, maybe after a few moments, they would leave and go to another area. So most of the companies now saying, why do I need to invest if they don't want to stay with me for quite a long time? So we have to embark on sensitization. We have to work across sectors, departments and agencies to ensure that, yes, we help them, especially in the areas that are
All right. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Leader.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much, and congratulations in advance, Deputy Minister Designate. Please, I wanted to ask you about how often do you engage workers
and those that are working in the mining companies, especially Sierra Leonean workers. Why I'm asking this is that sometimes we as honorable members, these workers, they have their unions. So sometimes when they present their cases, it will take a very long time for the company management to adhere to them. And sometimes these foreign companies, they make themselves too powerful over these workers. And the workers think they also have their rights in as much as they have their responsibilities. But how often do you go to these companies to get isolated meetings with these Sierra Leonean workers? Because they have burning issues. They talk to us sometimes, so how often, or do you have any plans to do that if you have not been doing it? Thank you.
Mr. Lisa?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Member. I think the past administration, myself, Timbo, we had several engagements. Even in Freetown here, the store laborers, maybe you must have heard about them. We almost held meetings in all of these areas, Kanike, difficult areas, but we met them, we sat, we discussed. For the mining companies, I've been to Rutai, I've been to Bimetco, I've been to Konoba, never had the opportunity of having a meeting, to be honest. But one big challenge that we have at the ministry is that when was that when you hold meetings with them, some are not bold enough to tell you what the issues are. They will not. Even if we tell them, please tell us what are the challenges here, they fail to. So what we had started.
So you have any extra plan?
Yeah, what we started with Honorable Timbo was that we started the engagement at this level with the employers, because there is our employers federation, we have the unions. So we want to kickstart that, but the work is enormous anyway. It is, because looking at the terrain, some of the areas is very difficult to get there. But one of the things that we have to address is the number of employees that we have at the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. Last year, I think we had about 62. 2 is now on secondment at Rutai. So the staff level is very low when it comes to labor inspectors and senior labor officers.
Exactly, that's what
so it's a very serious challenge because...
Okay, that's what I've been just looking for. That if somebody is telling you that you have the facts, but you also have to have your labor officers so that you can be able to monitor. You don't need to ask them, because if you are the only you have nothing to offer anyway. So if you have your own labor inspectors, they can give you the info and you act on it. But when you go to react, who brought this? And the labor officers, you make sure they don't compromise.
Thank you, sir.
If they compromise, the problem. Even the labor unions, you have to review them. Because if they compromise, they are just doing disservice to the nation.
I think I want to thank you. The 3 laws that we passed, the Employment Act, and in the pipeline is industrial relations. All of these, yes, all of these would help us. And I want to believe maybe in the next 6 months, the Industrial Relations of Occupational Safety and Health Workmen's Compensation Act will be passed by this 6th Parliament, and we would have completed the reform that His Excellency anticipated in his manifesto, in the new direction and this new one, the People's Manifesto.
All right. Okay. Any questions? Yeah.
Mike. Thank you. Mine is not necessarily a question, but it's just a comment. I know you'll be working with your minister. It was approved yesterday. And I know the social security aspect is under your purview. For example, NASIT. And NASIT has an act. I may want you as a ministry to look at why is doing your supervisory role, to look at NASIT and hold them to their act. For example, they are in charge of the pension scheme in this country, and they are operating people's money. Normally, when people work and retire, even where they do all what is required of them to get their pension, there are a lot of challenges with that. And when, for example, people die, their beneficiaries to get their benefit, many often is a problem. You doing your supervised, you have to look at that. And equally, you look at their investment portfolio. How viable is the investment they are doing? But like I mentioned, they are doing people's money. And when people retire, they should be entitled to have the monies they've invested. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Chair, though is a comment. I just want to add few. Of course, NASID is under our purview. Under the supervision of the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. The process of reviewing the act has commenced. Cabinet has agreed the areas, the provisions that we need to address. Yes, it has been gazetted, and maybe, I don't know the plan of the Honorable Minister, whether it will be within the 4-6 months. We are on that.
Honorable Minister, Mr. Minister, which language?
Mr. Minister, sorry, sir. And
I hope you are not assuming as you have passed through.
I have not, sir.
So
I'm not talking about myself.
Mind the descriptions now.
I'm not talking about myself, sir. I'm talking about.
Just be careful, mind the descriptions.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
The minister's rather worried. I don't know his plans, but I'm pretty sure within the 4-6 months we would work on that. The issue of the payment delays has to deal.
Who are going to do?
Myself, himself,
how?
The staff.
Are you a member of that ministry?
If I'm approved, if I am, sorry, the Minister of Labour will look at it.
You are live on screen. That's why I'm continuously interrupting you to use the appropriate language you're supposed to use. So you are interviewing for you to be a deputy minister. So using those adjectives is making us redundant what we are in here. That's what I'm asking. So mindful of the words you use when you are trying to describe what you want to do.
Thank you, sir, for the corrections. If I am approved, myself and the minister and the team out there would do the presentation to the House. In the areas of the delays, whilst I was there, some has to deal with records. Sometimes my name is Lansana today, tomorrow it is 40. So that poses a lot of challenges. In the area of the investment, PricewaterhouseCoopers did an assessment on the investment. And that report was presented, and it was also presented to His Excellency. I don't want to hide it. There are challenges with the investment they had even before the advent of His Excellency in 2018, before he came to power. What His Excellency has directed is that we need to review again and work on the recommendations. The Ministry of Labour has to work on the recommendations. That's in PricewaterhouseCoopers, because they are dealing with people's money. We don't want, at the end of the day, if I should retire or any member who's a contributing member is retiring, would have challenges in accessing what is due them. So there are plans, even in the manifesto, and even before this second term of His Excellency, all of these were presented to him in the plenary meetings.
All right, thank you. I think you have tried a bit to try to answer some of the questions, make inputs where you can at the moment based on the past experience at the ministry. All right, when you do the corrections, we can present it to the plenary after our assessments. Yeah, we'll do the correction, bring it to the class for on or before Monday.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, you can leave us now. Now, Mr. Dixon, quick.
What about this one? One of them. Number of the house.
Any queries?
I just say, Inspector. Expected.
Photograph. You want to stand and have photograph and sit? Can you also sit and have another one? Yeah. Be relaxed.
This is nice. This is good. I think I'm quick then up with twice
Alright, okay. Minister Leone. I'm finally.
Before this committee shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you.
Chairman Slurry, right?
Yes.
We're going to have Dr. Alfred G.O. Dixon, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, sir.
Yes. You know, this is one of the strongest pillars. Before we go to you, can you read the text below your photograph? Take out your phone, sir. Yes. Just read the text below your photograph.
Canvassing of members.
Yeah, use the mic, don't worry.
Canvassing of members of the committee is strictly forbidden.
Thank you. Did you canvass anybody, or do you know anybody in the panel you have canvassed?
No, sir.
Slurry is supposed to be like a scientific wing of the Ministry of Agriculture, right?
That's correct, sir.
I don't think you know, I know you are just coming in.
Yes, sir.
And I look at your resume. You have some knowledge about agricultural research, about the scientific models and the tools that we use. You know, there's climate change, there's human behavior, the know-how. So you need these slurry to bring out what we need as well. And today, agriculture is one of the big five, number one pillar.
That's correct, sir.
Of food salad. The others are just complementary. So tell us something that you know about slurry or something that you want to fix if you have approved.
Well, for your information, I was the pioneer director general of slurry, sir.
Yes.
I worked at IIT for over 20 years, and then I was asked by my DG as a national service to my country to come and consolidate the different research institute centers of slurry after the enactment of the slurry law of 2007. So I was there for 5 years to put together slurry, make sure it's operational, functional with all its centers, headquarters, Teko Livestock Research Center, Kenimat Forestry and Tree Crops Research Center, Najala Agricultural Research Center, Lumbuku Agricultural Research Center. And then after 5 years, I had to go back to the my employer, the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture in Nigeria. Then, when we had the Dakar 2 Food Summit, I was in the ballroom with my DG and His Excellency the President, and we participated to assist them to consolidate the country delivery compact, and a request was made to our DG that IIT should help them, because I think His Excellency was already thinking of agriculture being the flagship program in the second term. So I was actually asked by my Director General to come and help the government of Sierra Leone to prop up its agricultural sector and also to support slurry since I was
Thank you.
there.
No, thank you. Yeah, that is one. But also your extensive work is speaking to the fact that, trust me, you have talked extensively in research areas, in both the in Kansas, the United States, in specific genetically modified crops. What do you do? Also that has to do what exactly you have been doing in terms of research methodologies. So I'm coming. So I'm not asking you to go over it, but I don't want to relate your CV with what you have said, which is in your CV, with what you will give us as salary. Because everybody's talking negatively about salary. That is fact. I've interacted with you the first time you came to my office.
Yes, sir.
It's now a reality of facts that we are not doing anything more for our farmers. So they are still on the same research methodology, the old products that we had in the 80s, coming right down to this 21st century. We are still talking about the old model, how do we do farming system. So we need to have our own models. The climate is changing moment by moment. So have you done any research before coming?
Yes, sir. For your information, I'm a cassava breeder by profession, sir.
Yes, yeah.
And I have supported slurry for so many years, and most of the varieties you hear of slurry, the silica series, are from my work at the IIT, sir. And you know, cassava is one of the drought-tolerant crops, even in the face of climate change. And with our discussion with the presidency, we have decided, apart from rice being the #1 crop, we have to also promote cassava as an industrial crop, sir.
Okay. Just stay there. Let me just think what you have done. Yeah. You have started this thing for a very long time.
Yes,
in 1989 to 2018, postdoctoral fellow, associate scientist, senior scientist, principal scientist, cassava breeding, genetics, IIT, cassava breeding and genetics. That's the model. And you are pioneering the genetic improvement of cassava in the sub-Saharan Africa. So thank you. We know it's not like when you are the Director General. Now you are coming on something that is really good. And now the government is going towards this salon, which agriculture is at the heartbeat of its administration.
Yes.
I don't intend you making any introspect at this moment about what is happening. But at the face of everything that you know, something is broken. So is it administratively or scientifically?
Well, administratively and scientifically, sir.
Thank you, no problem. Don't go further. Thank you. Colleagues, Dr. Alfred Dixon, chairman for SLARI, and it's just in line with one of the biggest pillars we are looking for FISAM, and he's going to handle the component that has to do the science aspects of our agricultural investment that you want to do, whereby cassava, rice. So you should be giving the data that what type of fertilizer we are going to use when, and what type of soil are you going to use. So any question? Yes, Paramount Chief.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'm really happy that the chairman of SLARI is here. I have a very serious problem with SLARI. Proposed chairman. Chairman Designate, I have a very serious problem with salary. When I say I mean my children. From records, the Chairman Designate will prove me right or wrong. And the colonial garden in my children, Upper Bamera children, is the oldest colonial garden in the sub-region. I'm sure he is aware of that. Now, before the war, the government was paying lease to those landowners, about 500 acres of land with variety of tree crops. Now, as I said, the landowners were, the land was leased to Ministry of Agriculture. Now, after the war, what happened? This is a problem that the present government inherited from the previous government. Now, officials from Slurry went to Pendembo in my court Bari, and they prevailed on the people, on the landowners, 5 family heads, that they wanted, instead of the land being leased to them, they wanted to make it a freehold. It was not easy for me to convince my people, but I prevailed on them because by then the lease they were paying was too small. And at the end of the day, to cut matters short, the landowners agreed, and we bargained on an amount they were to pay in 3 tranches. From over 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they only paid 1 tranche up till now, and they are utilizing those crops on the land, about 500 acres of land, Mr. Chairman. Up till now, they have not been able to pay the balance money, the 2 tranches, up till now. What happened? My people are always casting blame on me. When such things happen, they look up to primary chiefs as landowners, and I have talked, I don't know whether it's still the Director General of Slurry, Mr. Bokun, right? He is coming from Kalam. The landowners met me here. We went to Slurry office to Mr. Bokun. He promised that he will pay that money up till now as I'm talking to you. That money has not been paid. The landowners have been pushed to the wall. I want to let the chairman know I am not, because I am now tired. They are harvesting 3 crops, doing a lot of things.
Is Mr. Boku still here or retired now?
Who?
Mr. Boku.
That is what I'm saying. I don't know whether he has retired or he's still here. He promised that those monies will be paid, and they are utilizing the land, 500 acres, and have been pushed to the wall. I want Mr. Chairman to know that if those monies are not paid, I don't think I'll bother myself to talk to the people again. You can take action at any time.
Thank you. Respond.
Honorable Chairman, I was...
First, let me commend your comment and really appreciate you, Paramount Chief, for bringing it to the fore at this moment to the proposed chairman. These are some of the things we are looking for. And when we are putting questions or making contributions to our appointees, these are some of the things that we need to bring out very clearly. It's okay to put him or her in a clear frame of mind of work. That's what he or she is expecting when get to work at a particular moment. This is a clear manifestation of something that's happening. Larry, that's why I asked you specific question, scientific or administration, and you accepted both. That's your problem. So tell us something you know.
Honorable Paramount Chief, you will be aware that I was part of those who went and had meetings with you several times in your court barrier in Pendembo. And we got the information to the Ministry of Agriculture, the then former dispensation, and they said Slurry here during the days of Sam Sise and the permanent secretary Pakago, and they said Slurry should answer. Then they made arrangement and got money from the Ministry of Finance and was only able to pay the first tranche. Then I left. But this is not an issue only for Pendembo, sir. It's the same in Teko, it's the same in Musaya, it's the same in Bambao, it's the same in Puabu. and so on, sir. Jala is worse. Jala Agricultural Research Center. So honestly, when I came back about a month ago and talked to the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Agriculture, he mentioned this issue of Fenembu to me, and I said, yes, we need to solve this issue. He said, as soon as you come on board, since you know the historical perspective of it, we will solve it, you know. But it's the ministry that really has to pay the second and third turn. But Mr. Chairman, sir, this land lease that started since colonial times is an issue that I think the government of Sierra Leone should solve, sir. It's a big problem not only for SLAI or Ministry of Agriculture, but in many other ministries where these have been done, where these leases have been made. If there could be a concerted effort, we solve it and pay these landowners once and for all, I think it will be better for all of us in the country. Because in fact, what is happening now, because we have not fulfilled those leases, what is happening, the landowners are going back and selling part of their land, and as a result, you cannot do effective research or effective activity based on what you have leased the land for. So I'm just craving that it should be a collective effort for all interministerial agencies to come together and meet Ministry of Finance and settle these landowners so that we have freedom. It's a problem that has been going on for a long time, since about 15, 16, 20 years ago, sir.
Why you stand at the back? If you want to talk, you don't give us a meeting in this meeting.
Mr. Chairman.
No, hold on, sir. Please, don't do that here.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Additionally, Larry has put up some structures at that site for staff to occupy. They have put up a multi-purpose building. You go to that place, I really want the committee, when formed agriculture, let them visit that site. A multi-purpose structure, buildings, empty, nobody there. What they do, they take staff from Kenema. They go there periodically. You go to that place, so bushy, very nice, beautiful buildings. They are wasted. You see, this is something of concern, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Thank you very much. You have said it all, sir. So this is a reason that you all need to work, and you have identified that it should be a Minister of Lands and Agriculture. They really need to work together to have so many things done. So under your leadership, if you are approved, you need to identify not only Minister of Lands. I think environment is one, and works is another one. So these are all ministries that you need to work with. So it has to be some chain work between you and the other ministry. If you really want to be a workers, then he has said it all, and we appreciate him for that. We also accepted and also thought of it for so many years ago that these are things that over 15 years, 20 years that we need to fix. So we leave it like that for the moment, and when you take the administrative chair after approval, and I believe you can handle some of these things. In that capacity, when you assume your office, you take Parliament as your baby. You don't. There's difficulties with Ministry of Agriculture. You can refer to Parliament. Parliament can take a lead in bringing you together to solve some of these problems. That is why I'm happy I said the Parliament will got it up. So thank you very much for coming. I wish you all the best, and hope to see you later. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right.
Thank you very much, other members.
Okay, you can leave. So all serious, leave us now. The clerks.
Thank you. As this is at the end of the broadcast. This is the minutes broadcasting. Thank you.